This is King Kira 14 from the Holy Alliance. This is another one of my matches in my artillery tank. I'm starting to really like this tank. It's actually a fairly decent tank. Get used to it more and more. I know what most people are thinking right now. I am on Himmelsdorf. Himmelsdorf and artillery tanks do not get along too well. But for some reason I was able to make it to where we got along perfectly fine together. So I hope you enjoy, and this will be the third installment of the When I Decide to Play Arty group, round 3. Enjoy. As you can already see, that platoon 1, is already cussing up a storm. They are just not happy.
Let's get this show on the road.
And you got, it gets worse and worse. More and more people start, talking, and it's funny. I even decide to make a joke off of it too. Now there's a joke. It's a joke about Russians. Russian tanks have very bad. It's just a matter of who does what and where. And I decide to start lining up shots and take a nice chunk out of this Churchill 7. In my opinion, Churchill 7s are a real pain in the because they're evil tanks. And I overshot the mess out of that Wolverine. I know I wasn't aiming correctly, but I just didn't get a good shot on him. Switch targets. Now, this is funny to me. This is hilarious. You have a tier 4 Marder 30T. Their guns are decent, but they're not OP like a lot of other tanks. And this guy is pinning down a Su-85. Su-85s have really good guns on them. That little Marder would be basically more or less a one-shot for that Su. And he's being by the Marder. And it's just, when I was watching this, I just wanted to laugh. And I know a lot of you who will see this will be like, yes, this is freaking hilarious because you got this happening. And it's one of those things that you think, you're like, I wonder what this guy was going through what was going through this guy's head whenever he was here this whole time. For those who don't know, Marder 38Ts have fairly small amount of armor. They're more of a sniper tank. They're not bruiser material. And that line actually leads up to the Tester or the PZ something or another. There are a lot of PZ lines, but it leads to the Mule, and then I believe it is the RHM Borsig. The Borsig is actually a fairly good tier 8 tank. but there are people that claim that it needs to be nerfed, which I could see, but it's mostly the fact that 90% of the Borsig players either load gold or know where to pin people. So I just get to watch this the whole time, and I decide to switch targets because I can't get a shot. And I find AKB-1. Now, the problem with moving targets, I hate moving targets because you have to time them, and sometimes you get to the point where your beatage actually pops up, and it screws you over. So as I line up a shot,
Critical
give him a
hit.
nice hit in the side, I notice that there is a Crusader driving right past my group. Now the Crusader, he comes back to haunt me, but I can't get a shot off on him because he's behind those buildings. But he does come back to haunt me later on in the game, which sucks, but it happens. And I know I use that term. I keep using that term. It's actually the truth. He actually does come back and haunt me pretty bad. Now, I didn't calculate the fact that Wolf would move, but he did, and it screwed me over because I had to reload. And that's when I noticed that the hill effect. Glorious hill. The hill that normally decides the battle. Normally. Not all the time, but normally. It failed. And when it did, I had to turn around and arrow. I took a random shot straight into the cab and pounded it, but didn't seem to hit anything, so I do what I do best. I drop my barrel and start moving out. Now, this tank here, they're called rabbits. It's because they supposedly look like rabbits, their frames and stuff look like rabbits. But to me, they're just fast scout tanks that have arty abilities. And that's basically the same to a lot of other people. Now here's that Crusader again, and because he's so close to the rabbit, or the FV304, I'm not going to take a shot. But what pisses me off is what the rabbit does. Runs straight into him and gives him the kill.
Permission to engage. They're knocked
And
out.
I put him out of his misery. So, it kind of just pissed me off that he just did that. It got to the point where I was like, no, this is stupid. And as you can see, the KV-1 just died. There's a martyr left. He just left the camp, and I don't know which direction he's heading in. This martyr 38T that held down that Sioux, and obviously killed the Sioux. What happened? Do I even want to know? And he just comes around this corner. And when I come around this corner,
Ready to fire.
shot off on me. Damage. He's trying to kill me. I've got my lining up and I'm taking a shot. The player understands that I have a 20-second reload, I believe. But I'm already... I don't think he understands that part. So
The armor is destroyed.
throughout this whole game, a lot of different things, little funny quirks happened. First off, the fact that this single tiny martyr was to destroy a Sioux who was acting like a complete wuss. Second part, we lost the hill. Third part, you just saw that rabbit ran into a Crusader The Crusader is a heavier tank. I fear those tanks because 90% of the players either run well, not really 90, but 80% of the players normally run the howitzer on it or the oof, which is a fairly good gun that shoots twice per shell, and it's an autoloader. And it's a good tank to use. I mean, I used to have it, and I couldn't get the mastery on it, but I did get my classes. Got about 4 of them, I believe, but it's just one of those tanks that, you have to get used to. You gotta understand how to play it. There are some matches when you need to be up in people's face, and some matches when you're not. But for the fact that the Rabbit, I believe it's an 8-ton tank, ramming a 12-ton tank. You see the problem here? Something's gonna happen, and it's not pretty. I don't know what he was thinking, don't know why he was thinking it, but he was an idiot for doing it. Even still, he at least tried to do something, but it just was a stupid thing to do anyways. And the last thing is the fact that I turned this corner not expecting the Martyr. Martyr did get a good shot off on me. He took a decent chunk of damage, almost 100 damage. 96 damage off of me. And that's a good shot. But he didn't one-shot me, so that led to his downfall. Now this is just another one of those games where I think that something messed up somewhere, somehow, and led to me having the emote. The fact that I had to kill 2 people up close and personal makes me question what's going on. I understand that it's 5 times weekend, but there shouldn't be that many, green players, bad players, whatever you want to call them, reds, tomatoes. There's so many terms out there. I quite frankly don't see 2 flying, if you catch my drift. And I just don't understand why so many people are not really paying attention to how they play the game. I know times 5 weekend. It does not mean you need to get reckless. Being lead to a lot of problems, and this I know from personal experience. I actually have a video of me being pretty reckless, but still able to win it somehow, and that would be mistakes were made. But there are, you gotta be careful whenever you're playing a game, because if you don't, you'll end up like an idiot. So, this is King Kara 14, and I hope you like this video.